Oh, yeah. So we're just doing a hard jump into this today, guys. I just got back from something. So hard jump in and starting now. Uh, yeah. So give me just a second, guys. Try to send the link out to everybody. Let them know that I'm live now. Sorry, guys. Just really weird, strange day, and I'll explain here in a second. As I try to remember everything we did this week. Also, let me get all this stuff set up. Yeah, sorry guys. Trying to remember what I'm doing here, so hate doing this. Hate doing this at last second. Just everything kind of messed up and stuff. Oh, sorry. No, I didn't forget anybody, Rosetta. Yeah. You know what? You should already understand that I consider you as one of those people. I know I forget people sometimes when I tag people. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm also sorry that this is also discombobulated today. I normally have this tweeted out a few minutes, 30 minutes or so before I go live. I just went hard in, no intro. I might pull this down later, cut it and edit it and stuff. I don't know. Normally I do. I don't do edits. I do one shoots. So do me a favor, guys. First off, tweet this out if you could. I know you did. I know you're giving me crap. Do me a favor. Tweet this out. I'm not even sure. I mean, so we did several videos this week. Let me just run through this real quick, guys, and I'll get to kind of what I just came back from. So this week, our videos, we did one for Bandmade YOLO, one for Liliac, which is a California band. The song is called Mars. It's pretty kick-ass, and a really good live version of that. And then we did one for The Warning, The One, which is live from Linario, Mexico, which is very cool. It's a cool concert, so I suggest you check that out. Also, we had the live stream on Sunday, which was The Rule of Three with Danny Graham and Anzo Hodges, who's Bigger Ford Entertainment. Monday on Danny's channel with Mads Mama Bear, Anzo, Terrence, and myself and Danny. We did the Chaotic Conversation top 5 Batman villains in live action, TV or movies. Tuesday, we did the Chaos List, basically about Batman, about Joel Schumacher's passing, about Michael Keaton coming back, possibly, and about the 6 possible villains, 3 for sure confirmed, but the 6 possible villains for the Batman. Thursday we had the weekly Rumble. I had Rosetta, Honstar. Think who else? Let me think. Honstar, Rosetta. My brain is just out of it, guys. So sorry. Oh, gee whiz. Now I have to go back and find out. Oh, my word. I am so out of it, guys. I do apologize. Han was on there. Danny, of course, I should have done that. And Alicia Victoria Parker, AVP. That's right. You see, my brain is so out of it. Why is it so out of it? Yeah, so let's just get to this. Yeah, Alicia. So first off, Austinator, thank you for being here. Rosetta, thank you for being here. Those of you who are here, which isn't very many, which is fine. I don't care today, because I just came back from a good friend of mine's wake or visitation, however you want to put it. Earlier this month, I was trying to contact a friend of mine and see if we were going to be doing some stuff. And I got a text from his brother that he had committed suicide. And I just came back from that wake, or that visitation, however you want to put it. And I'm kind of throttled by it. I'm kind of discombobulated by it, because for the short amount of time that I knew this guy, as opposed to a lot of people in my life, I really had a good connection with him. He's like a brother. Now, I say that because I'm an only child, so a lot of people who I'm close to, who I like, who I get along with, I consider brothers. But Chris, which was also his name, he and I met through working for the TSA. He and I both got hired at the same time. We were in the same class that went to FLETC, which is the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Georgia. And we spent 2 weeks down there. It was kind of like being back in boot camp. He was Navy, I was Marine Corps. He was on a ship, I was on a sub. Just things like that. There were a lot of similarities besides just the name, guys. We were in the same class at FLETC. One of our instructors was named Chris, and he says, "There's too many Chris's here. You're Chris 1, you're Chris 2. I was Chris 1, he was Chris 2, but he always said, I'm Chris 2.0 because I'm the upgraded, better version." Great guy. He had issues with just feeling wanted and feeling like people cared about him, or that people wanted him in their lives. So when I found out that he had committed suicide, it probably hit me weirder than when my father died. And that's probably because my father died in his sleep, which was the way that he would have wanted it. So I handled that fairly well. But when I found out about Chris, it was just, I don't know. It really sucks. It really sucks, even though the short amount of time I got to know the guy. You know, we both cosplayed. We both went to see Rogue One and a few other movies and cosplayed during their premieres. And I'll put this up. And you have me also, broken, dysfunctional as I am. I will always be your sister in heart and compassion. I am truly sorry, sweetheart. Don't let the world tear you down. I know you're Mr. Friend, but you're amazing, darling. I'm not torn down. The world won't get to me. The world got to Chris, unfortunately. And that's kind of where I was going with this. If you guys know somebody out there who is acting strange, who doesn't seem to be where they're normally at. And Chris was a hard person to read. He always was joking. I mean, the last few things I have before his brother texted me were jokes. Check Facebook Messenger, ass clown. I mean, he used to say that stuff to me all the time. So nothing gave us a heads up. And it was just a matter that he never would give you a full idea of what was going on. But if you have somebody like that, I mean, literally, if you know somebody who's like that, don't hesitate. And I didn't. I'm not saying that I think that I could have done anything to stop him. He, in his mind, believed that, he believed that nobody cared, and he was absolutely wrong. People cared, and people always care. There's always people out there. But make sure you let people know in your life that you care. Make sure you tell people And we live in a world right now with a lot of hate, a lot of aggression. Um, even on YouTube, the people who fight back and forth. And when you deal with stuff like this, with just knowing that type of stuff sometimes just takes people down a path that makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's not worth it. We have to make sure people understand that we're not against people. We're all here for people. It's just, we have to be a little better telling each other that, there's people out there who care, even people who, my brother, my heart. Thank you, Rosetta. It just becomes a thing that there's not enough times in a day you can tell somebody you care. And like I said, I felt like he was a brother of mine. There's a lot of similarities. And when I was talking to his brother, we were talking about some of the guys that we were in a team of TSA agents together doing. We did things other than just work on the gate where you go and you get your luggage checked and stuff like that. We did something else that we didn't really deal with the people very often. We just dealt with each other and the planes and the cargo and stuff like that. And we were all talking about how we had sick, twisted sense of humor. Chris and I would always go out and do our thing, and a couple other guys that were there today would do their thing. We sat there and we talked about it, and it was just like really weird, because sitting here going like, man, here we are talking about Chris, and he's not here. And it just felt weird. And sometimes that's how people leave, just gone. Not here anymore. One day here, one day not. And talking to Chris's brother and hearing some of the things he said about why he did what he did. And you think, man, why would anybody think like that? Why would anybody think that they weren't wanted, or that they were an issue, they were a problem? And again, I don't think Chris's brother or myself or anybody else who was close to him really, at this point now, thinks that we could have changed what happened. But you always go back and look and say, man, maybe if I'd done this, if I'd done that, if I'd said this, if I'd shown up here, if I'd done this. And it's happened to me before. I've had a lot of friends, unfortunately, commit suicide. And very similar circumstances sometimes, where just 1 second they're there, the next second they're not. And as I'm rambling on here, Austinator, I saw your comment. Thank you very much. I've been dealing with this for a while, for the past, almost month now, and thinking about it. And every time stuff like this happens, every time somebody close to me either tries something or dies, passes on, it always makes me think that the things people fight about, things people bicker about, the things people protest, riot, argue about, are they worth it? At the end of the day, when people look back on life, and the life that you left and the life that you had, are they going to talk about, the fights you fought with for a cause or anything? Or are they going to sit there and they're going to talk about the time that you did some dumbass thing, like we were talking about Chris, or me and Chris doing stupid stuff that we did? It's never about the stuff that, it was never about the cause. I mean, I guess if that's all you're about, maybe that's what it is. But hey, Rambling Canuck. Yeah, Sean. I was just, I'll be over in a little bit, Sean. I just got back from a wake. I think I told you about it. I had a friend commit suicide, and I'm talking about that. About a lot of the stuff that we as content creators that we talk about a lot of the things that people get on fights or arguments online about, how it's not in the end worth it. It's fun. It's good to be involved in things. It is. But a person who dies is rarely remembered for those things. I guess, if you're a president, sure, if you're a public figure, but when your friends talk about you, they're only going to remember the good times, the things that stick in your head. Some of the stuff that me and the guys that I worked with at the airport were talking about were just crazy stuff. Rosetta, you have an amazing heart. You keep me going in my dark times. Today, the world sees in this stream of the man I already know you are. I appreciate it. Hey, Danny, how you doing? But I wanted it known that this guy didn't realize, somehow or another, he didn't realize the people he had around him. And I know people get in dark places. And I don't handle things like most people do. I don't think I deal with depression. I don't think I deal with anxiety. If I have it, I don't know about it. It doesn't really come down to that matter, because I know there's people there. I know, like Sean, for instance, is 5 minutes down the road. He's a phone call away. I can go see the guy. I can go talk to him. I know he's there. But when I think about Chris, I wonder why. What was it that me, his brother, other people that were close friends of his, what is it that he didn't compute and see that he had around him? His brother told me that he didn't think he deserved friends. Chris, of all people, deserved friends. He was a great, funny guy. He dressed up as Deadpool. Great Deadpool. I actually had plans of doing skits with him. That now I feel obligated to somehow do them still, but pay tribute to him. Yeah, Sean. That's the thing. I know a lot of us here in the groups that we're in get caught up in the moment and caught up in talking back and forth to people who don't agree with us. Our opinions are very much the heart of who we are. But is it a hill to die on? I don't know. I don't think it is, because there's more important things in the world going on. There's another friend, like I said, Sean's 5 minutes away from me. Chris was 5 minutes away from me. And I didn't even know that he had committed suicide until his brother texted me. I had messaged him 2 or 3 different times on Facebook Messenger and through text, and hadn't gotten anything. And yeah, Sean, you're right. Sometimes it's just a glitch in the brain. I understand that. But I normally put out the link to have you guys come on. But I wanted to talk about this today. And I know this is completely askew. Like I said, I didn't even set up the stream until I walked in the door just now. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to talk about this guy, this great guy that is no longer here. Because maybe by doing so, I'm putting things out there that, I don't know, I think people need to know. All these people that we have in our lives that come and go, in some way touch us, for better or for worse. David, Trap, thank you. For better or for worse, everybody that comes in and out of our lives touch us and affect us in a certain way. They push us in a direction. Our choices that we make around them. That make us who we are. Where I'm at today is partially because of Chris. Many hours, 6 hours or 6 days a week, at least 8 hours a day at the airport. I probably spent more time there with him than I did my own kids at times. I got to know the guy really well. And did we all know that he had the emotional problems and things like that? Yes. But we always tried to tell him. I always told him when he would text me and say, man, no girl wants to be with me. I mean, dude, that's not how you need to think. That's not how it is. There's somebody out there. If you ever think like that, understand nothing's perfect. No relationship's perfect. But he would talk about this. He'd be like, oh, this one, this, and this. And then just a few days before I found out about this, maybe more, a week or two before this, he was talking about this one girl he used to talk to out in England. And he had just messaged her again. And she sent him back a text saying, stop texting me. You ruined my relationship when you talked to me last time. And I'm in a new relationship, so don't ruin this one. And he told me, I said, I guess I would just ruin relationships. And I said, dude, no. She made the choice to talk to you when she was in a relationship. And because of that, she lost that relationship. That's not your fault. She made the choice. And I tried to tell that to him a lot. And it's important to tell those people, the people in your life, the people you're closest to, that it's nothing's as bad as it seems. The bottom is just a place to start and go back up. We've all been down at the bottom before. Things have happened. I've slept on friends of mine's floors before because I didn't have someplace to go. And all it made me want to do is keep going forward. That's the key. It's keep going forward. And if we can convey that to the people around us and the people who we know, and if we can be there for them, that's what's really important. And even if this stuff happens, if a friend of yours commits suicide, if a friend of yours dies, and I'll go into this really weird. It's kind of like a Final Destination thing recently. So Chris committed suicide right about the first of the month. I'd have to go back and actually find out the date. It's not really important. Hold on just a second. Rosetta, thank you. Wow. A lot of this hits home to me and our experiences with each other. I know so much what it's like to feel helpless and hopeless. You get me through. That's what I try to do. I have, like I said, I have a different way of looking at life. I'm not the best person to give it to anybody softly. I'm pretty blunt about things. But so Chris committed suicide, and then another guy that I worked with at the airport died. Not this past week, but the week before. And then on Monday of this week, another guy that I worked with on this special team with Chris and the other guys that were there, he was hit head on while riding his bike and died just up the road from, well, farther from where I live, but up the way. And so I got this Final Destination feel about this. It's like, what do we do? Did we like somehow escape death sometime at the airport or something, and now it's coming back to get us? It just was interesting to me that all of a sudden all this stuff just boom, 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 boom. Now the other people I wasn't as close with, cool guys. I got along with them, but the thing about Chris is that all the stuff that I always thought, he made his own costumes, his own cosplay stuff. He made swords, not real swords. He'd go buy a play sword and then fix it up to make it look more realistic or more like a cosplay, and or more like the costume. He dressed up and looked perfectly as Deadpool. He did a steampunk Deadpool. I'll find some photos and post them on Twitter here sometime soon of when we went to Rogue One together. I dressed up as Han Solo like I always do, but he dressed up as a think about it, like a Deadpool Jedi. He just came up with these ideas sometimes. It was like, cool, man. I loved just hanging out with him and stuff. It was really cool. It just got my mind off of things sometimes because it was all just BSing and fun. And then to know all along, and even then I knew the things he was battling with. And then the fact that he found out he had some health issues, or not health issues, but he found out what some of his health issues were from recently, and that I would have thought that would have made him feel great and stuff. And his brother telling me all this other stuff about how he just seemed like everything was great for him. And it reminded me kind of my father. My father was just, yeah, I feel great. I'm doing great. Everything's great. And then he goes to sleep one night and doesn't wake up. And it was like, when things go that way and then they're taken away, you wonder, why do people get taken away? Why do the good ones always go? And I know I'm rambling. Yeah, I know I'm rambling, and I'm reading the comments as I go along. Sean, you're absolutely right. Like the line in Rocky Balboa, you, me, or nobody, it's going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard it hits you. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. And that's right. I mean, I guess everybody has a breaking point. I'm sure I do. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what it is, but I want people, I want you who are watching to go, and the people who are close to you, make sure they know. If it's people on, and yeah, Danny, you just went through some stuff too, and I know we talked about it, and I'm fine. I am not a person who gets torn down by this. I want to take this moment and make sure other people know that if it's you, if you're watching this and that's how you feel about life, that nobody wants you, nobody cares, there's nobody for you. I'm a waste of space. Whatever you think, you're wrong. You're wrong. Somebody cares. I care. I have it at Twitter. Message me now. I don't care. For every person I might save, for every person you might save, it's one less person that somebody like me has to talk about losing. It's one less person the world is without, that deserves to be in the world, that has something to show the world, that has something to give the world. And Chris did. Chris had so much to give the world. And while he gave the world a lot, there was more he had. And now it's gone. You know, I've had bosses who have died of brain cancer and stuff, and I've worked at bars and stuff, so a couple of them have been for bars, and I always tell people when I hear them say, oh, they were a horrible person, they deserved to die of cancer, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, folks, do you know what you're saying? Do you understand the things you're saying is so horrible, how horrible it is to say? Hold on just a second. Rosetta, thank you. I message you anytime I feel down. You're my support and keep me alive. That's what I try to do. But it just amazes me how many people in the world have the hate. And I don't have that hate. I don't have that hate for anybody. You know, I may not agree with you on political views. I may not agree with you on what you do or what you believe in, but it's not my, I don't concern myself with that. That's not what I want to know. If you're a good person at heart, I can find common ground with you. I may poke fun at things that you like. People poke fun at things I like. I'm okay with that. But the one time you say something to somebody, understand that what you're saying could be a lot worse than you think it is. It could be cutting to the bone to somebody who's on the verge of giving up. And you don't know that. And you shouldn't be thinking that you're at fault if you ever found out that happened. But you should always remember that you should have a good heart. You should make sure that you're leaving more. You're leaving. Let me start over. When you pass, whenever that is, whenever any of you do, whenever I do, you want to make sure that you leave the world in a better place, that you've left more for the world than you took. And that's what's important, is to put out there things that make the world better. Lady Torrell, $5, thank you. We have to keep going in love and make sure people know they matter in your life and they touch everyone. That's absolutely right. I guess part of the issue, and I'm not going to go into the details of what his brother told me he did. I think the moment that he did what he did, I'm trying to think, did he think he was alone? Did he think nobody was going to care? Did he think when he wrote the letters to the people he did send letters to and said, I'm sorry because of this, I'm sorry because of that, or whatnot, why was he apologizing? Well, he didn't cause the things he talked about. He left a nephew behind who absolutely adored him, according to his brother. And then some of the things I heard about his family, I just don't get it. CAD, thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. I thank you. Sean says, life is so fleeting. It's like we were teenagers, and I closed my eyes for a second. Now we're in our 40s. That's right. Yeah, I mean, just Thomas, thank you. Just quickly stopping by. Much love. You helped me through some tough situations, so I always appreciate it. You're great. Love you, bro. Thank you, Thomas. And Thomas, again, to you too, to everybody out there. If you ever need me, I will be there as best as I can for you. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not the best person to ask questions of. I'm not, but I'll give it to you and let you know. Everybody's worth it. Everybody. Trust me. I know that's some people, there's people out there, but I've even sent messages to some of the people that all of us have had issues with, people that talk crap on us all the time. I've sent messages to them during this and said, hey, I'm just checking on you and your family and want to know that you're okay. And of course they send me back crap, but you know what? I was the better person. I'm trying to say, hey, I do care. I care about everybody. Nobody deserves to die of cancer. Nobody deserves to die of this horrible thing going on right now. Nobody deserves to die by having somebody's knee in their neck for 9 minutes. Nobody deserves any of that. But then again, nobody deserves to die in the horrible ways that millions of people die every day. And we have to make sure that whatever small impact we can make on the people closest to us, that we're right there next door to us, those people. Well, let's see. You got a point. there are scumbags out there in the world. I understand. Sean, yes, I will put it up there. I won't say it because I try to keep these as clean as possible. But I like to think there's good in everybody. I mean, I know that it's not true of everybody. I mean, it just isn't. But the people I surround myself with, the people that are part of my social group, the people I talk to on here, on Twitter, on Facebook, Sean and my friends, they're all good people. I've had people do things to me, but I still talk to them. I still consider them friends. Am I a glutton for punishment? Maybe. I don't know. But I prefer to turn and look at it and say, is it worth the fight? Is this the hill that I want to die on? Is this where I want to bury the sword into the ground and say, doesn't go past here, I'm done? Danny, you're cool, bro, but Ledger is better. Garfield is better, and Ninja Turtles. So whoa. Ninja Turtles do not suck. Sorry, but I had to get this off my chest. Keep your head. Garfield is awesome. But you're not that Garfield. No. Damn you. Sheesh. Yeah, I don't know how much more I can go into this. The world lost a great person earlier this month. And whether or not he knew it or not, that guy was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Rosetta, $5. There's a good and evil in all people. The amount of which they obey is varies. Try to forgive and find friendship even with those who harm me. And yeah, you got to do that. I could ramble on for hours. Ask Sean. I could blabbermouth about nothing. I can. But I wanted to talk about a great guy that we lost. And you guys might not have known him, but I hope I conveyed a little bit about him. I hope that I expressed that this guy was awesome. And he deserved people in his life. Everybody deserves people in their life. And maybe, and I'm talking to the people here. The people I know deserve people. They deserve friends. They deserve me to treat them with kindness and respect. And I want people to know that. Exactly, Missy. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Mary, it's good to see you. But I wanted people to know about my friend Chris and what an awesome guy he was. And I say this a lot about a lot of people. Like I said, I'm an only child. I was never, I always, I guess, wanted to have brothers and sisters. Sean is like a brother to me. Rosetta is like a sister to me. You guys, if you're my friends, that's kind of how I feel. If you're close to me, if you know me, that's how I feel. That's where I got my brothers and sisters. I have such a large extended family. And maybe it's taboo to say it that way, but that's how I feel. And Chris was like a brother, and it's one less brother I have today. It's one less brother I had earlier this month, I should say. But when you go, just a second, Mary. Let me go to YouTube real quick and see what this super sticker is. Okay, hold on. Oh, it's the smiley face with the hearts and stuff. I appreciate it. Of course, you guys are watching on YouTube. I'm not. I'm watching on StreamYard. But I wanted you guys to know about this guy, and that the world lost somebody awesome. And don't anybody do this, please. But if you guys, something were to happen to a lot of you guys, I'm going to say the same things. I'm going to talk about that stuff. I'm going to tell people how awesome these people that I've met over these now 2 years almost, actually longer that the channel's been around, but for me going on, give or take, I guess maybe a year and a half. I don't even know. My brain's so discombobulated. Subhuman, thank you. But I've talked for 40 minutes now. I was going to invite some of you guys on. We'll do it the normal way next week. I just came back from the visitation or the wake, whatever you want to say. And I was just like, I'm going to go. I'm going to talk about this guy. I said this at my father's funeral. I gave a note to the pastor as he talked. You can never be forgotten as long as the last person who has a memory of you talks about you. So I will talk about Chris. I will always talk about Chris. I will keep him alive with memories. And that's what you should do for everybody. So, yeah. I did a cold in without the intro. I'm going to do a cold out without the intro or without the outro. I might, like I said, add them in later. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But, guys, take it easy. Love each other. Take care of each other. And thank you for showing up today. I'm out.